Welcome to a Besto TV production. If you enjoy our content, please click the subscribe button. To get notifications of new releases, ring that bell. Thank you, and away we go.
Creative continuity. We bring the convention to you.
This is Mr. Lobo at the great Philadelphia Comic-Con for Creative Continuity, and I'm here with Veronica Taylor, who is probably most well known as the voice of Ash Ketchum.
I will journey to gain the wisdom of Pokemon training, and I hereby declare to the Pokemon of the world, I will be a Pokemon Master! Pokemon Master! That is what Ash, get to bed!
I was on the show for the first 8 years, and it was an amazing opportunity. It totally changed my life in terms of kind of how I thought about life. Yeah, it was really terrific, and I played Ash's mom and also May. So then I got to I let myself go on a journey at 10.
That's amazing. You have so many different, you can do a lot. You were doing a New Zealand accent just before we started.
I do a lot of weird accents.
I mean, was this something when you were a kid? Were you always doing voices?
Yeah, actually. But I also started acting in plays when I was 5. So I've always been an actor, I guess. But I don't know, my family's actors too, so we're all a little kooky and just always doing something, and I really do love accents, so I'm always listening and trying to kind of figure it out. And
did you ever try to did you ever record your voice on a little tape recorder as a kid?
I did, yeah. I would interview myself in my room with my little tape recorder. Yeah, which I think is pretty cool. Everybody needs to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Well, you're very charming in person.
Oh, wow, thank you.
And the thing about Ash Ketchum, which I always thought, because when a lot of characters similar to Ash in other shows are kind of irritating and grating.
You mean I'm irritating and grating, but I play a character who's not?
No, and not either of those. What I'm saying is that it's those types, that archetype of that kind of character is often irritating, where maybe the kids can bear it, but the adults are ready to kill themselves.
With you. Yeah.
And Ash Ketchum does not have that quality. He's very likable, and your charm, I think, comes through that
thank
character.
You. You know, I do think that Ash, in a way, is he's every man, and that joy he has, and the that seeking his goals, and he's learning, as we all do watching the show, how to go after what he wants, but use friendship along the way, not step on the people to get what he wants, and all of that. I think it was part of the character, and it's kind of he comes from the heart, and so acting him comes from the heart too. So thank you. That's a lovely compliment.
Well, it's true. It's just a true statement. But I think that show did have a lot of heart, and I think that's why, in my opinion, why it's endured for so long. I think so too. The
writing was great. Everybody worked very hard on the show to kind of make it the best it could be, and put in a lot of extra effort, I think. And I do think that has shown through time to have been a good idea. To be part of something that people already love, and then just hope you can kind of fill in those shoes. It's a really interesting challenge.
So that April O'Neil there, is that the version?
2003 to 2007, the 4 Kids one, right?
Wow, okay. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. So you've got to be one of the Sailor Scouts?
Yeah, I'm Sailor Pluto now.
And you got to be April O'Neil?
That's right.
And you got to be Ash Ketchum?
That's right.
I mean, those are 3 once-in-a-lifetime kind of roles.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And then I have a lot of shows that I do for little kids. So, I'm Sheep on Word World, and so many kids learn to read watching Word World. So, that's where it starts. Grow up.
That's going to be like their Sesame Street, where they're going to come see you when they're 40 years old and go, I used to watch you when I was 3.
Right. Now I have bad eyesight because I read too much.
Exactly.
Fingers
and
crossed.
You can say, just give me your $40.
I don't know who you are. Whatever.
It's cold in here. I need a few more layers.
And then I'm just carry me out of here, kitty.
I am the keeper of the door of space and time. I am Sailor Pluto, guardian of the underworld.
Now, obviously, when you're an actor, you're not a surgeon. You're not saving people's lives.
That's right.
You're not diffusing bombs. But you're making a lot of people very happy. I'm sure you've got letters from hospitals and
Right.
poor families and things would probably tear our hearts out if you told us about, right?
It's very true, and I do find coming to conventions like here at the Great Philly Comic Con that the chance to actually talk to people. I've been in their living rooms for a long time.
They know you.
Yeah, and so now I know them,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a wonderful exchange that I'm allowed to have,
Mm-hmm.
and it's quite an honor, I have to say.
I would imagine
yeah.
overwhelming at times.
It is very overwhelming, and the things that, first of all, to know what people have gone through in their lives. I mean, we all go through things.
Absolutely.
But to see what it is that can help pull you out. And luckily, Pokemon was one of those things for many people. We all have those shows we turn back to, and so now I like to say, we've come to this point, and Pokemon has brought us together. But now our roads come together, and we travel together on this journey, and it's been amazing. So it's also a testament to how no matter what you're feeling, no matter what job you have, you go to work and you give 100% because you never know how far that one action will reach.
You don't know where those ripples
No, you won't.
go
Exactly
out.
right. Exactly. So anyway, it's taught me a lot.
Well, it's an honor to be talking with you about such a phenomenon, really, and now it's a multi-generational
Right,
phenomenon to where it's, kids and their kids and
Yeah.
sometimes their kids.
I've met families. I was just in New Zealand, and the first convention I ever went to was in 2002. I was in Auckland, New Zealand, and Sydney, Australia, and I just met 2 boys who came to see me in 2002 and who came back this year, who now have families of their own, and
right?
it was amazing.
What, 16 years ago or something?
Yeah,
Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
And we're still a part of each other's lives like that, and that just that they were so little back then, and now they've grown into such amazing people.
Are you strictly a voice actor? You have other talents, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I'm an actor.
Yes.
So, but most of what I do since my daughter was born has happened to be voice related. So I do a ton of things all the time. I do cartoons, I do commercials, I do a lot of audiobooks, I do a lot of apps for kids that encourage reading. I have, it's kind of endless. A lot of language things.
It's needed because I feel like people can't talk anymore. I feel like I feel like we need, where there's a lot of this and not a
Right.
lot of this.
That's right.
So people who have like a nice, distinctive, clear voice that can tell you things and you can understand them,
Right.
that
But
goes a long
there is
way.
a need. Look at that's what happens at conventions. People are out and meeting people, and I do think, quite honestly, the only way for us to get over our fear of others is to realize that we are part of one world. To see that you need to go out, you need to travel, even if it's just traveling to a convention and meeting people from other cities. You're out, you're experiencing that oneness in your community, and then you spread out, because it's the fear of difference that breeds hatred. And so, we have to get past that. If you get past it from reading books and understanding other people's hardships, their journeys, all of that is what we need. This, being in our tiny little worlds with just the people that we know who are very much like us, it's not enough to expand your mind.
Absolutely not, and we need to expand our minds. And I think that both in real world situations like a convention, or even in a fantasy situation, because if we can accept all of these
That's right.
strange monsters and strange characters, then we can all accept each other.
That's right.
Thank you once again, Veronica, for talking to us about everything from Pokemon to the world issues and beyond.
Right?
And this is Mr. Lobo signing off.
From myself and Ash Ketchum.
Creative continuity. I choose you!
Watch Creative Continuity, Cartoons, Con Rewind, Mr. Lobo Does, and more on this channel.
Creative Continuity. We bring the convention to you.